Hi, and thank you for watching Simply Lavish at Home. My name is Faisha, owner of Simply Lavish Event Planning in Chicago, and this web series is designed to take you through all the easy things that you can do for entertaining at home. We just went through a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Hopefully you had time to spend it with friends and family. And through all the pictures that I've seen on social media, I'm reminded of the importance of food presentation. You spend a lot of time preparing, going to grocery stores, and cooking the perfect meal for your family and friends. And you want it to come to the table as perfectly as you intended. So I'm going to take you through a few basic things that you can add to your collection to make the perfect food presentation for any special occasion. You've invited your friends and family over, and you spent a lot of emphasis on how your food tastes. Rightly so, because no matter what you present it in, if the food doesn't taste good, everyone will remember. But if the food does taste good, you want it to look just as good. Make a great impression on your friends and family by paying attention to your serviceware. There are a few items I'm going to present today that you should have in your event collection and your serving collection to make a nice presentation of your food. To start with, it's good to have some vessels that double both as a cooking vessel and presentation ware. So for example, this white, which we saw from my first video, that I do love white for food presentation. It allows the food and the colors of it to be the showcase. But it is oven safe, and you can cook a nice casserole. It's good for some side dishes, and it has this convenient lid. It helps keep the food warm while it's on the table, and it looks nice on your presentation. The same goes for this particular baking dish. I'm sure you've seen a lasagna or a casserole presented in this. But when you're going to use a cooking vessel to present, you want to make sure you clean the outsides before you bring it out. While it's still warm, sometimes it's usually very easy to clean any spillover right off of your dish. I'm not a big fan of presenting food in the pots. You know, your regular stovetop pots, but of course there's always an exception. This particular pot, which is actually my mom's, she always has the best stuff, has a beautiful shape. It's nice and shiny. It looks great. We served rice in this actually for Thanksgiving dinner. It's stovetop safe, it's oven safe, and it has this nice clear lid so you can clearly see what's in it, and it looks great on the table. Not to be forgotten though are your platters. It's good to have a few of these on hand for things like chickens or turkeys that might need a little space, something flat to lay out on. You can even go and buy store-bought food, and any of these tricks will look great, and people will think that you made the food if you present them on a nice platter. Also a series of bowls. It doesn't have to be fancy. All of these things are pretty straightforward, not too elaborate, easy things to find. You want to have a few bowls on hand. Again, simple white. And you want to have various sizes. One rule of thumb is that you want the food to have at least an inch clearance on the top of the vessel. That way when someone goes in with a spoon, they don't make a great big mess. And it's not too big that the food doesn't look plentiful and beautiful. But as you can see, these are pretty easy to find bowls. This bowl, actually, I eat cereal out of it every other day. But when it's time to entertain, it's great for small side dishes. I think I almost always serve some manner of peas or string beans in this bowl. When you're looking for something inexpensive, which all of these things are generally inexpensive, but you do not want to forget your dollar stores. This particular piece is clear, it's plastic, but I've used it a ton. This has lasted me an obscene amount of time, but it looks great with salads in it. Sometime if I'm roasting corn or some other side dish. I can probably stand to get another one, but this has lasted me a very long time. Another great dollar store find are these silver platters. Now, it's almost hard to believe that I got these from the dollar store, but they are great if you're serving hors d'oeuvres, to display those on. These will even be great, while I wouldn't use a knife and fork to eat off of these like a plated meal. If you have like anything wrapped, like a cocktail party, people use finger foods. Your guests can even use these as a vessel for their individual use. So they would just put their little appetizers down and be able to take this around and eat directly on them. And again, only $1 that can be used and reused over and over again. And just make sure they're properly cleaned and stored. Amongst the things that you'll also need, now this is just the start, you know, as you go along and start to figure out what you need to entertain your guests, you'll build on here, but these are just the very basic things. Always needed is a gravy boat. It's the holiday time. You probably have Thanksgiving dinner with turkey or roast, and you need to pour the gravy. So having a nice, easy gravy boat is good to have on hand. And there's almost definitely going to be dessert at every dinner party. So a nice cake dome would look great on your table for cakes, pies, even individually portioned desserts look great on a cake pan, and they stay covered and protected through the rest of the evening. Lastly, you're going to want to consider your utensils. Your guests are going to need to efficiently serve out their portions and keep the line moving or keep the dinnerware going. So you want large spoons and forks to be able to serve with. So here I have your serving fork, your serving spoon. You're definitely going to need a slotted spoon for things that you need to drain the liquid from. Salad servers are good to have on hand, as well as a pie server, great for pies and cakes. With all of these things, they're all very easy to find. You can locate anywhere that they sell home goods or discount stores that have these readily available. They're inexpensive and easily replaced. You can have very beautiful things that are out there that are very expensive, but personally I like to enjoy my parties, so I don't want every time a spoon to clink on something for me to be worried about it breaking. So I go with things that are easy to find, easily replaceable, and inexpensive for the perfect food presentation. Your food presentation does not have to stop at your food, but can also extend to your drinks. Over years of entertaining, I find that when I buy full bottles of pop or full bottles of water, people often waste them. So unless you're buying the small chubbies of water, the smaller cans, which cost more than any regular size can, I find that I like to decant my drinks. So these are a bunch of different ways that you can display your drinks, serve them out to people, and make a great impression. This, you know, is great for everyday use. It's plastic, but it's not really particularly attractive. So I would just keep this for any other purpose but to serve your guests. Go with something more like this. Easily to find, perfectly clear, and even Kool-Aid looks awesome in this picture. Also good are these carafes. I use these a lot for orange juice, water, several drinks. Like if you're gonna have a bar, you can put your cranberry, one with pineapple, one with orange juice, and put that all on display, which I'll talk about in my how to build your bar video coming up soon. These are one of my latest finds, and I love them to death. These are great for carbonated drinks as they have that little stopper on the top. So I will decant some soda, pop, ginger ale, anything like that, seltzer water. You just put it in your funnel, do it over the bowl or in the sink so you don't get overflow, and be able to serve it if you don't like the looks of those 2-liter bottles. Also, they come in a larger size, so if you want to just have more on hand and available, you can use the larger size. Great for carbonated drinks, and I love these. And as much as I like those, these guys over here are my absolute favorite. These little decanters that you can find almost anywhere now. I've loved them for years. Great for punches as opposed to the regular punch bowl. And this lovely lady right here is the grande dame of my collection. She's beautiful. You put almost practically whole or half fruits in here. Makes a beautiful display. You can see this one is on its own pedestal, which is almost essential. This one doesn't have one, so a lot of times I'll prop this up on something tall, make its own pedestal, but you want the guest to be able to get the glass under there to be able to get to the beverage. Love the way they look. You can serve anything in these, and it makes a beautiful impression. You don't have to keep refilling these because they are of a very generous size. And you just set those out for your guests to be able to serve themselves that perfect beverage to go with your perfect dinner. Once again, I hope these tricks and tips are helpful for you. For additional information on services provided, please visit me at www.simplylavish.net. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and like my Facebook page. Also, you can subscribe to this, where I'll be providing more tips on how to entertain at home. Thank you for watching, and here's to living simply lavishly. Cheers.